Radiator's leaking on this whole side right here.
Oh, radiator's leaking on that whole side?
Right here.
Alright.
This is empty and this is low.
Oh, so the radiator reservoir's empty?
Yes.
Okay.
Like this gasket here that goes all the way around this particular level of the throttle body is leaking, and it's just dripping fuel inside here. It's actually running too rich. See, this has been spliced, these has been spliced, this has been spliced. See, all these, almost every one of the wire connectors somewhere has got a splice in it. See, they got something running off of that going over to here.
But that's where the gas leak is.
Yes.
Here.
Yes.
Alright, and then the splices are the least of the worries.
Out of all the other stuff, I would almost say they're the least of the worries.
Okay.
Now the belt
What belt?
The serpentine drive belt. I'm going to show you that too. I didn't write it down because it's not got cracks in it and stuff.
Okay.
Okay. But somebody, it don't have an air conditioning compressor, so they put this piece in there to do away with the AC system, to run the belt, because it don't have a compressor. See, here's the evaporator. They got the heater cord disconnected and they got the evaporator disconnected. This truck don't got heater and it ain't got AC.
Okay.
Okay. They put this pulley here. I guess this is something that somebody's come up with to where you could put it in there to be able to run it without AC.
Okay.
Okay. The compressor is probably bad. Okay. But either this pulley too small or the belt's too big, because this tensioner is all the way against there, so it don't have any spring load anymore. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So if it gets any looser at all, the belt's going to be loose and it can't be tightened.
Okay.
You see, that should always keep pressure on it.
Okay.
And it should be, this should be all the way to about here when it's, see, this deal's supposed to be right here when it's probably the proper tension.
Oh, okay.
This is, I don't know why this is on there. I guess it's got to do with the aftermarket air cleaner, but this is cracked, but it's not causing a problem.
Right.
But that's not a factory air cleaner.
And the transmission fluid filler things underneath this.
Yeah. So see, you can't even, you had to pull the air cleaner off to even be able to check the transmission fluid. But it's pouring fuel in it. It's probably not getting a real good fuel mileage. It's idling way too high.
All right, what?
I would say the leaks and the steering and suspension and stuff is the most important.
Okay.
The steering more than anything, because I wouldn't let my wife drive this truck.
Okay.
I have had
I
have had a tie rod end come off on a vehicle I was driving before, and I was lucky because I had backed up, stopped, the tie rod end come off, I put it in forward, I couldn't steer my vehicle. So I wasn't moving.
Right.
I was very lucky.
Yeah.
Okay. But and then the ball joints, I don't know if you've been driving down the road before, and I'm sure you have. You've seen a Chevrolet pickup sitting on the side of the road, front drop to the ground. That's called the ball joint pot loose.
Okay.
These are loose, but they're not that loose.
Right.
But they are loose.
Right. All right, so on the electrical harness, what they make what?
On the wiring harness, they make heat shrink.
Okay.
Where you can take that stuff, slide it up on the wire, take the two pieces of wire and put them together like this and solder it. Put the heat shrink over it and melt the heat shrink, and then you have the wire repaired the way it's supposed to be repaired. It shouldn't have a connector splice in it.
Okay.
They do make connectors that you crimp on and the ends of it melt to where it keeps moisture out of them. But the way you're technically supposed to repair wire is solder it.
Okay.
But a lot of people use a connector, and you know, a lot of your wiring harness, your pigtails when you go and you buy a new connector because the connector's broke and you have to put the connector in there. A lot of the pigtails come with a little wiring connector that you crimp on. But most of them now have the part that you melt to where it seals the moisture out of them.
Okay.
But
so that's the least of the worries.
that's my opinion, the least of the worries, because some of this other stuff is way more important.
All right.
See that?
Hang on. Let me do it again. Okay.
If this pops out, you have no steering.
Okay.
This tire's just going to go flat.
Okay.
Okay, and if you're going down the highway when that happens, you're going to be in trouble.
Okay.
It needs ball joints on the lower. The front don't look too good. I would think they would probably need them too.
Okay.
But they don't have any play in them right now. This one's loose too. Not as loose as the outside. This outside's loose too, see? Just as bad. This inside one's looser. And then that side. That might be grease. I think it has a little play in the pitman arm. But this seal up here is leaking. It's got all leaking in the front of the motor right here. But this is the main. See, this red fluid is transmission fluid.
All right. Hang on.
These really technically shouldn't be spliced, but somebody did.
Okay.
Okay? It's not all tranny fluid. See, some of this is motor oil.
Okay.
All this up here is motor oil. See?
Okay.
That's a lot of oil. This don't need to be having oil on it. See all this black stuff and it running down like this? This is an exhaust pipe.
Oh.
Okay?
Okay.
If you drove it an extended amount of time, this would get hot enough it could potentially catch fire.
Okay.
And you can see the oil's coming from way up yonder way, but I don't know if you can see right there, but there's a boat, transmission boat, that's backed out about this far.
Oh.
See, it's not all the way in. So I don't know if the rest of them are tight or not, or if it's just that one boat. I didn't put a wrench on them yet. I wrote it down, but it's hard to say about the transmission pan because of all this oil that's doing this number, okay? This U-joint's got play in it. See how that wiggles right here? This connection right here? That shouldn't do that.
Okay.
These has got a little bit, not as much, but if you're going to pull the drive shaft out, you already got the labor pulling it out. To do each additional U-joint's not that much extra. It's easier to test these once you got it out because you can actually turn them and feel the hard spot. So potentially these could be, they may or may not be all right. The other two, that one's really bad. That one right there. The carrier bearing don't seem to be too bad. This brake hose, whoever put this caliper on, they twisted it. See, it shouldn't be twisted like this. And it's caused this hose, see how it's splitting?
Yeah.
So it needs that brake hose and it don't need to be on there twisted like it is. And see this clip that's supposed to hold the line? that clip's missing on this side. It's not there.
All right, and then where's it leaking gas?
Up at the top. Let me,
Oh, that's the tie rod end doing that?
yeah.
Okay.
And see, that's what,
Right.
but it
Okay.
shouldn't be going up and down the tie rod in it. But see this one here, your lower control arm right, or your upper control arm right here, that bushing's gone. You'd probably have to get a screwdriver and pry it, but this wheel bearing's loose too.
Okay.
See?
All right.
If your wheel bearing breaks on you,
Uh-huh.